And here's the point. You can have a relationship with God in which He's sort of like a boss. And the reason why you pray is you're trying to get control of Him. You're trying to get Him to do things for you. You're trying to show how virtuous and how spiritual you are so He will bless you. In other words, you want to be heard because of your rhetoric or because of your intensity or because of your dedication, because of your words. Or you can pray to God as a response to free grace. See, God can be your boss, meaning you're basically doing stuff to get pay. Or He can be your lover or your father, in which you unconditionally love Him, and you're praying just in response to that grace and love. Now, there's three ways to find out whether you've got a kind of boss relationship, in which prayer is really one more way in which you're trying to get control, or whether it's a father-child relationship, in which you're just simply responding to the grace and love of your Father. And here's the three marks of it. Number one, if you have a boss relationship with God, you may go to public prayer, you may come to church, you may go to prayer meeting, but privately, you don't have a private prayer life. You don't have much of a private prayer life. Secondly, boss prayer is filled with asking for things, and there's very little adoration in it. See, when you're talking to somebody you're just in love with, you know, listen, there's a place where C.S. Lewis talks about this, that he says, when you just love the beauty of something, you love praising it. You tell everybody about it. You say, listen to this great music. Look at this great thing. You're praising it. Isn't it great? Isn't it wonderful? Why? And he says, when you just love the beauty of something, the praise actually helps you enjoy it. The praise completes the joy. You're actually continuing to enjoy it when you praise it. And you also know that when you're in love with somebody, you actually love telling them how great they are. It just feels great. Why? Because you're actually, in a sense, enjoying them as you do that. And here's look. If you have a boss relationship with God, you don't have much of a private prayer life. You go to services, you go to prayer meetings, but you don't have much of a private prayer life. And secondly, it's mainly about what you want from Him. Adoration is not the main thing you do. It's not even maybe much of anything you do in the boss kind of relationship. And then lastly, of course, it comes and goes depending on how you're doing. See, one of the ways you can tell that you're not responding to grace, but you're responding to try to get control, is when things go bad in your life, then you start to pray. And when things are starting to go well, you stop praying. Oh, I guess, sorry, that doesn't apply to anybody here. I could just tell by your response and say, really? I've never heard of that. There are people like that? Yeah, there are, of course. You see, in other words, if the prayer is really about you, if the prayer is really about getting control of God, or even getting control of what people think about you, see, if God's sort of a boss and you're just trying to get wages out of Him, you're doing your duty, you're doing what you need to do in order to get Him to bless you. Now He's this great giant ATM window. You're just figuring out how to, in the sky, you're trying to figure out how to push the buttons. Or is He your lover? Is He your Father? Are you responding to grace? Are you praying because you love Him?